I'm going to talk about a movie that came out this weekend starring Dane Cook, Kate Hudson, and Jason Biggs. The movie was pretty funny, but if I'm Dane Cook, I'm very worried about being typecast. After the month, Dane Cook appears to be making a specialty of playing characters who are promiscuous, lazy, and yet end up falling in love, alienating, and ultimately winning unattainable women, played by Jessica Simpson in Employee of the Month, Jessica Alba in Good Luck Chuck, and now Kate Hudson in My Best Friend's Girl. The plot of this movie is a pretty standard mix between a romantic comedy and a bromance. The romantic comedy aspect of it is that a paid womanizer named Tank, who has who's following in his father's footsteps, played by Dane Cook, falls in love with his best friend's girlfriend, played by Kate Hudson, ends up having a relationship with her informally. Both of them fall in love. He thinks he's unworthy. He alienates her, turns her back. Pretty standard romantic comedy elements. The bromance, of course, occurs because Tank and the Jason Biggs character are cousins by marriage who end up becoming best friends whose friendship is strained as a result of the elements in the romantic comedy plot. There's some secondary romances going on as well, ultimately between Jason Biggs's character and Alexis's roommate. Overall, there was a lot of laughs in the film. The film was pretty funny. Some of that comedy has to do with Tank's character being particularly inept. A particularly good element was the countdown of 10 alienations, once in reverse, once in forward, that Tank specializes in order to make the original alienated ex-boyfriends seem more appealing than he would, thus restoring relationships and overcoming faults, allowing for second chances. I thought the element was pretty funny. Overall, the movie was good for laughs, wasn't a very serious film, but I would like to take a little time to comment on the fact that the film has some serious things to say about the way in which parents can hurt their children with regards to relationships. One of the more poignant parts of the film is the fact that Tank's character has a father who himself is a flagrant womanizer, a professor of women's studies who utilizes his knowledge of feminism in order to have no regrets promiscuous behavior with young college co-eds, thus subverting the feminism that he is teaching and basically behaving in a classic womanizing sense without receiving the blame for it, and basically manipulating his knowledge of feminism to have a post-feminist free-for-all with his college students. And in this particularly, we see that Tank himself has been harmed by his father's behavior. His father's example and his father's refusal to help teach Tank really how to be a man has some severe consequences in Tank's inability to know what love is, to have successful relationships, and to really behave responsibly himself. And this is, I think, a poignant area that may be true in many other families, and sort of undercuts a little bit the humor of the romance and romantic comedy. And I think the film says some more serious things to say, both about loyalty of friendships, about the way in which relationships work, and in which people struggle nowadays to find really good relationships, whether they are like Alexis's character and are serial monogamous, whether they're like Jason Biggs's character and have difficulties fulfilling relationships, or like Tank, where you have a long-standing series of being an asshole and at the same time a jerk, and at the same time really longing for something more. I think that that these elements make My Best Friend's Girl a somewhat more serious film than it probably sets out to be. And overall, I'd give it 3 stars out of 4. You'll go in there, you'll watch the film, and you should laugh a lot. There's quite a few scenes that are really fun, but I think if you're looking for it, you can find a lot of more serious things that the film has to say about our modern society's troubles with dating and relationships, and with the ways in which parents harm their children's lives. And I think those serious elements make it a more worthwhile film than just your usual romantic comedy to toss off. So I really think that this film is one of the better romantic comedies of the year, and definitely a worthwhile film to watch and to reflect upon, to see how our own lives are reminiscent in many ways of this particular dysfunctional set of individuals. Signing off with another film review, this is Nathan Albright. Hopefully you guys have an enjoyable time at the movies. Thanks.